So hello everyone. In this video we will talk about the estimation of ephedrine hydrochloride. Okay, so this also comes under the topic of non-aqueous titration. In non-aqueous titration we have to estimate two compounds. The first one is sodium benzoate and the second one is ephedrine hydrochloride. The sodium benzoate we have already estimated in another video. You can go and check it out. Here we will talk about ephedrine hydrochloride. Okay, so in that video I have explained briefly that uh, in this we have to use non-aqueous titrations because these are used when water cannot be used as solvent, because there are some substances such as weak acids and bases which give poor endpoint when water is used as solvent. Okay, so in those cases non-aqueous titrations are used, and in this case also the non-aqueous titration will be used. Okay, so now let us begin. So in this in this estimation also we will perform three steps the same way we have done for the estimation of sodium benzoate. Okay, so in the very first step we will prepare 0.1 normal solution of perchloric acid. In the next step we will standardize our 0.1 normal perchloric acid solution which we have prepared in step 1, and in the step 3 we will estimate our ephedrine hydrochloride by using perchloric acid solution. Okay, so perchloric acid over here is a titrant which is being used in acidometry. Here also I will again explain that our ephedrine hydrochloride, it is a basic drug, and for the estimation of basic drugs we use acidometry, and in acidometry the titrant which is used is perchloric acid and the solvent which is used is glacial acetic acid. Okay, so this I have already explained briefly in other videos, so here I am giving just an overview that perchloric acid is our titrant which will be used in this estimation. Okay, so the step 1 and step 2, which is the preparation as well as the standardization of 0.1 normal perchloric acid, this I have already explained in our video for the estimation of sodium benzoate. Okay, so there also I have explained the steps, so these are the same steps which will also be used in this for the estimation of this sample. So I will not explain those steps again over here. You can go and check out that video for the estimation of sodium benzoate. Here directly we will begin with the estimation of ephedrine hydrochloride by using our perchloric acid solution. Okay, so because I've already explained that, so this video will be unnecessarily long, so you can just go and see that video. So let us begin with the step 3, which is the estimation of ephedrine hydrochloride. Okay, so what we are doing is that let me first read out the principle. So the chloride anion which is present in the ephedrine hydrochloride, it is a weak proton acceptor. Okay, so the chloride ion in this compound which is our ephedrine hydrochloride, it is a weak proton acceptor. So what happens that this chloride ion is replaced by acetate ion with the addition of mercuric acetate. Okay, so now these acetate ions, they have higher tendency to accept protons which give accurate endpoint when titrated against acid like perchloric acid. Okay, now known amount of ephedrine hydrochloride is titrated with perchloric acid in glacial acetic acid, which is our solvent, and the endpoint is detected by using methyl orange as an indicator. So here I have written the reaction for it, that ephedrine hydrochloride will react firstly with the mercuric acetate. Why? Because we have to replace the chloride ions which are weak proton acceptor, and then finally what will be formed here, our uh, this here acetate ions will be produced, and these acetate ions will react with perchloric acid to form onium ion, and these onium ions will again react with acetate ions to form acetic acid. Okay, so finally what is happening over here is that because in the end acid is being formed, so the pH of the solution will become low, and in lower pH or in acidic pH the indicator which is methyl orange gives red color. Okay, so with the appearance of red color the endpoint will be detected. Okay, so this was all about the principle. Now let us go for the procedure or the methodology. So what is happening that we will accurately weigh about 0.17 gram of ephedrine hydrochloride and then transfer it in a conical flask. Okay, and then we will dissolve in 10 ml of mercuric acetate solution and then add 2 to 3 drops of methyl orange indicator. This we will take in a conical flask. Okay, and then we will fill the burette with standardized solution of perchloric acid which we have prepared already. Okay, and then we will start the titration with perchloric acid until the endpoint is reached. Okay, this endpoint will be detected by the use of indicator. So This estimation of ephedrine hydrochloride is actually the same which we have done for the estimation of sodium benzoate. The same steps are being involved. The only difference is for the step 3 where the principle is quite different. Okay, and the rest, the formula which is this formula, this also is the same only. So that is why I'm not going into very deep, because this is exactly the same thing only. You can go and check out that video. So the percentage probability, what do? We find how much sample is being present. So the formula is V into E into AN into 100 upon W into Rn. So V here stands for the volume of the titrant used. Titrant is perchloric acid. E is the equivalent factor of sample. Sample is ephedrine hydrochloride. AN is the actual normality of perchloric acid. This N1 we will get from step 2. Okay, step 2 here I have not performed, because we have directly begin from step 3. This step 2 you can go and check out the other video and you will know how we have calculated this N1. Okay, so uh, AN is the actual normality of perchloric acid N1, and Rn is the required normality. Required normality means how much normal solution we need, and we need 0.1 normal. Okay, so the required normality is 0.1. Okay, and W is the weight of the sample in grams, which is sodium, sorry, not sodium, which is ephedrine hydrochloride. Okay, so all the rest of the values we can easily calculate. The main thing over here is the equivalent factor, which is E. Okay, that we will see how we have to calculate. So equivalent factor is the number of grams of sample that will react with each ml of titrant, or 1 ml of titrant. Okay, so the sample over here is our ephedrine hydrochloride, and titrant is perchloric acid. Okay, so the grams of ephedrine hydrochloride that will react with 1 ml of our perchloric acid is the equivalent factor of our ephedrine hydrochloride. Okay, so what is happening, that what we are saying is that the grams of our ephedrine hydrochloride that will react with 1 ml of perchloric acid is the equivalent factor. Therefore we will calculate how many grams of ephedrine hydrochloride are present in 1 ml of ephedrine hydrochloride. Okay, so that is what we are going to calculate. So in order to know the equivalent factor, what do? We firstly see the molecular weight. So the molecular weight for ephedrine hydrochloride I have already calculated. It came out to be 201.69 gram per mole, which means that 201.69 gram of solution of ephedrine chloride in 1000 ml will give us a solution of having strength 1 normal. Okay, so instead of 1000 ml, if we prepare a solution of 1 ml, then we will divide this by 1000, so the value will be this. And instead of 1 normal, if we need 0.1 normal, okay, then we will again divide this value by 10, so value will be this. Okay, this means that 1 ml of 0.1 normal strength of ephedrine hydrochloride is having 0.02016 grams of ephedrine hydrochloride. Okay, this means that 1 ml of 0.1 normal perchloric acid will react with 1 ml of 0.1 normal ephedrine hydrochloride, and 1 ml of 0.1 normal ephedrine hydrochloride is having these many grams of ephedrine hydrochloride, which means that these many grams of ephedrine hydrochloride will react with 1 ml of perchloric acid solution. Okay, so this is the equivalent factor of ephedrine hydrochloride. So the equivalent factor of ephedrine hydrochloride for 0.1 normal perchloric acid is this. So after putting this value in our this formula, we can finally calculate the percentage purity of our ephedrine hydrochloride, and our estimation will be complete. Okay, so I hope you like this video. So if you do, please subscribe the channel, and thank you so much for watching.